Hi lovelies, this is Lavender. I'm trying out voiceover for the first time, so let's get into the video. I wanted to redesign my OC from the old design to a new design because the old design had too much purple and felt very outdated. Meanwhile, the new design has white elements and black, which contrast one another quite nicely. It feels more fairy or angel-like, which I love, and I love how I love the outfit design. It feels very much like me now. I usually start drawing the head and then I work onto the body so that I can get the proportions done right. I usually do it so that there's 3 heads fit into her full body. And you can see on the top left that is the reference image that I used. I do not know who the artist is, so if anyone knows, can you please let me know so I could tag them or something? I'm working on the wings now, and I usually don't draw wings, so this was really difficult for me to draw from this perspective. But I definitely enjoyed the challenge, and I think it turned out great. Here I try to draw different types of eyes than I usually draw to see if it would look great, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I ended up going back to the original way that I draw them. I changed the hands placement because compared to the reference image, my character doesn't have a wand or a staff or anything, and I felt like this made her look a lot more demure and cute. I absolutely love drawing wavy or curly hair. I just love the way the curls form and the shapes they make. It's a lot more interesting and intriguing to me when I draw them compared to when I draw straight hair. It was really difficult for me to decide what clothes to give her when I was doing the original sketch, because there are lots of different outfit designs that look amazing as I was researching them on Pinterest, because that's my favourite app to use when I'm trying to get references, and I saw real life references of this specific outfit and I absolutely fell in love with it. Of course I changed elements of it to make it more my own, but the base design is based off of one that I found on Pinterest and I absolutely love it. So yeah, here you can see that the eyes have gone back to their usual shape of being more rounded, and I do love how it looks. She looks so adorable. One of my favourite parts about drawing is definitely doing the line art, because it makes the piece all come together and look a lot neater compared to the sketching stage, which I feel like takes such a long amount of time. It's not that enjoyable for me, especially trying to get all the proportions down and things. But the line art stage is where you just have to put a line around what you've already done for the sketch, and it's very relaxing for me. I definitely enjoy doing it, and listening to some music in the background is very soothing. Meanwhile, I was saying all of that, you could see that I moved the wings around, the position of them, because I felt like the wings weren't really symmetrical, and I didn't enjoy how it looks. I do love symmetry quite a lot, so I wasn't really pleased how it was looking. That's why I changed the placement of them, moved them around a little bit. A little lore about me is that before I switched to IbisPaint, I used to use Photoshop back when I started drawing digitally, which was in 2019, and Photoshop was the first app that I used to draw, and I found it so confusing and so difficult to use because of the amount of tools that it provided. And especially because I had a tablet, which was the Wacom tablet. It didn't have a screen on it though, so I had to get used to drawing like down onto the desk, but while also looking at the screen of my laptop, so I had to kind of coordinate myself a bit. Now I use IbisPaint, obviously, and I got myself an XP pen tablet with a screen on, and I do love using IbisPaint more than Photoshop because it's made to be an art app, so it definitely feels like they put tools in that is more useful for artists rather than for someone who's doing, I don't know, some kind of graphic design, for example. And my XP pen tablet definitely made a huge difference in how my art looks now because it's a bigger screen than I had before while I was using my laptop, so I'm very grateful for getting it. Could you guess how long it took me to do the line art? Just the line art on its own, without the sketch or the rendering. I'm intrigued what everyone would think, how long it took me. Originally, she was supposed to have small little white wings behind her shoulders, but after having done the sketch, I realised it wouldn't look that great, and so I didn't implement that here. And I would like to have your opinions on whether or not you think it was a good idea to have removed the white wings, or it would look great to have them. Now it's my favourite part, which is the colouring in and then the rendering. If you're an artist, what is your favourite stage of making your art piece? Is it the sketch, the line art, the rendering, or just seeing the final piece? Or maybe it's the entire process. And if you are not an artist, what is your favourite part about watching an artist's video, for example, or speed paint video? As you can see here, I used a multiply layer to go over the hair strands at the bottom, and I'll do it all the way up until the top as well. And the reason I'll do this is it adds depth to their hair, and it also makes it look more voluminous and beautiful, in my opinion. And using it in a multiply layer, it's a lot easier than constantly having to color drop and make the color darker manually. It automatically darkens the hair for you. As you can see now, I'll be adding color of the skin onto the hair where the bangs end, and at the bottom of the hair too, and near the shoulders. And the reason I'll do that is because there is such a thing as bounce light, which is where the lighting from the skin bounces onto the hair and bounces back, and it creates this light onto the hair, which would be of the skin. And I also think it just naturally makes the hair look more colourful, so it's not just plain purple, it's got more like depth to it again. If you couldn't tell already, the hair is one of my favourite things to render. It looks so beautiful, and it makes the entire piece come together at the end of the day. Same goes for the skin. I love rendering the skin. Usually before I start rendering, I add a base colour for everything. So I'll base colour the skin on a separate layer, same for the clothes on a different layer. But I could not wait to start rendering the hair and the wings. The wings are so gorgeous. I wanted to just render them straight away, but obviously I went for the hair first because that's my favourite part to render. But the wings do look beautiful. They did take me quite a while to try and figure out how to make them look good, and I changed the outline to being more of a lighter colour so it's not black, and it makes her look so much more angelic, and her wings look so much more fluffier compared to when they were having a black outline. Now you can see that I'm bucket filling all the different elements of her skin, her skirt, her top, her leggings, her shoes, etc. before I actually start going in for a full render of each piece. It's just so I have an idea of how everything looks in unison, so if I do want to fix anything before I start rendering, I can do it at this stage. My other favourite piece to render is the face and the skin, because it adds so much life to the character when I give her the shading of where there's the shadow on her neck, for example, and then I give her highlights and a little blush here and there. It just makes her look more alive rather than just being a flat character. And I absolutely love adding highlights and some blush as well. I add blush on the shoulders and I usually add it to the knees as well, but obviously hers are hidden. And I gave her little freckles too because the OC does have freckles, so I gave her some as well, and she looks so adorable. I tend to struggle with rendering clothes because clothes have lots of different textures and it's really difficult for me to portray that through an image, especially when I'm drawing it. So yeah, but I do feel like I've done really well on the skirt in terms of lighting and the shading, and the socks too, but I don't like how her top turned out. The folds don't look accurate and it looks very plasticky, so I probably need to study and learn more on how to make her top look more like a jumper. Now we are moving on to the eyes, which is, I've been told a lot that my eyes tend to have a lot of life in them, and the eyes are definitely one of the most beautiful parts of a person's face in my opinion, whether or not they are drawn or in real life. It's full of soul and life, and it must be one of the main focuses of an art piece, for me at least. So I tend to make mine really big and like the center focus. And I think I'd done that really well here, and I was really pleased with how it turned out. Now I can focus on all the little elements like the background, the little bow that she has in her hair, also the little like butterfly wings that she has, and I love this part because it really just brings the whole piece together again, and you can never add too much detail in my opinion. Of course I like to keep things quite simple, so I don't usually add too much, but it's really difficult to stop sometimes, so you've always got to know when to just say that's enough and leave it. Before anybody asks, I made the butterflies myself. I turned it into an emote before, and now I just use them for this character because obviously she has a little butterfly clips in her hair, so I bring it out from time to time and use them. It just makes it a little easier on my life rather than constantly having to redraw the butterfly completely. I usually don't like to add too much to the background, so as you'll see in a moment it will mostly be just a small little detail. Because the main focus is really the character, it's not the background. You just want to enhance the character a little bit. And so I added a nice little white glow around the rim, so it feels very much angelic and it sort of pushes you into the center to take a look at her. And the edges also have the little white scribbles on, which I love to do a lot. I don't know if you realised, but it is something I just genuinely love to do. It's this sort of Victorian era element I like to add to my work.